Yo, yo, yo. Oh. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. Oh, we are in the house. Send this out to a couple. Send this out to a couple peeps. Hope everybody doing pretty good out there. Know we are. The game on and stuff. You know. What up, Josh? Silent B, I see you. Gonna add you in. You know what I'm saying. What up, Chef? There you go. 1 2 1 2. Silent B. Silent B. Will. Yo, man, how you doing, man?
Man, I'm doing great, man. How about you?
Man, doing pretty good myself, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I was saying, I know how stuff go during the day. You have to take care of stuff, so I'm glad that we was able to get together and have this talk. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that's tuning in now, tuning in later. You know me, I am always Close 24 podcast, positive dude, positive speaker, and this is, whoo. You know what I'm saying? I did my little homework, you know what I mean? So let me introduce you the right way. Mr. Benard Williams. Mr. Benard Williams. B. Williams Olympic Gold on TikTok. Bernard B. Williams on Spotify. Bernard Williams on YouTube at Staying in Your Lane ENT. Please subscribe. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
man.
Also, stand up comedian www.bwprotechniques to if you are a runner trying to learn the right way, go to that www. Check that out. 2000 Olympic champion, two-time NCAA champion at one of my favorite schools to cheer for, Florida, and Pan American champion, Olympic gold medalist in 2000 in Sydney,
Man.
U.S. national champ 2003, world champion in 2003 in France, Olympic silver medalist in 2004 in France, inducted into the Maryland State Athletic Hall of Fame, and you are a mentor. This, y'all, is Be Silent Willie. Saying, Lord, I'm saying,
Man, thank you, man. That was
hey,
impressive.
man, yo, man, hey, yo, you are impressive, man. You know what I'm saying? Also, I forgot, coming out of Baltimore, Maryland, to Be More. You know what I'm saying? One of my big brother figures, best friends, is from Be More. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Be More, of course. You know what I mean? And next question is, man. First of all, how you doing, man?
Man, fantabulousism. Yeah, man. I'm doing great, man. I just had a birthday last week,
Okay.
so I'm 45. So I'm feeling good, man.
Happy birthday, man.
Thanks,
Happy
man.
birthday. Belated birthday, but still happy birthday and many more. You already
Appreciate it.
know. You know what I mean? Uh so I'm gonna jump right into it, man. Cause when I first was on here seeing, like I met you through Marcia Smiles. That's how I found you. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
man, she
That's
is
how I found
fantastic, man. You know, I met her on TikTok,
you. Really?
and yeah, it was like 3 years ago, and she had never did stand up. She wasn't doing it yet. She was just killing them in TikTok. And I told her, I said, you should do stand up. And she said, you know what? I'm gonna try it out. And now she is doing her thing, man. So
What?
yeah, shout
That's a
out to
dope story. Okay.
Smiles, man. Yeah.
Okay. Now I found out about Marcy through one of my brothers from Central Cal, my partner OG Green Lantern.
Okay.
He was already friends with her,
Right.
right? And through this whole type of broadcast, through this whole type of networking and broadcasting thing I'm trying to do, I'm starting out the basic way, but we got the tools to do it, so why not use them? You know what I'm saying? And he
Yes.
was like, man, I know a really cool lady, man. I'm cool with. She do comedy, man. She's super funny. She real as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And you ought to, he said, I'm gonna reach out to her, blah blah blah. Next thing you know, we did one like this, and you know what I'm saying, full circle, everything rotates. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
shout out to Marcy Smiles. You know what I'm saying? That's dope right
Yeah.
there.
Marcy Smiles.
And when I found, like I said, when I was reading, when I was, looking at the, profile, stand up. But I didn't notice the Olympic part. So I went to Google, went to Wiki, went to, I did, best way I could find. But first I hit the LinkedIn thing. So I'm seeing this mentor. And then, like, I'm looking at the pictures, and I'm like, is that him? All the pictures of you, track and field running. And I'm looking, I'm like, dang. I'm like, is that him? And I'm like, I went to hit the video, and I'm like, that is him. And then I'm like, 2000 Olympic champion. I'm like, yo. Then I seen when you ran in Florida, and I was like, I'm a go Gator too. Chomp,
Right.
chomp, chomp, chomp. You know what I mean?
Right.
So where I'm going with this is going from an Olympian to comedian, man, had to be a big change. So like, how did the comedy part find you, or did you already have the comedy in you?
Here's the crazy part. I started doing comedy back in the third grade. My first comedian to look at was Eddie Murphy, and
Mm-hmm.
this was before Delirious. He had an album. He had an album, a record out, an album that you could play on the record player.
Mm-hmm.
And so he had this song called "Boogie in Your Butt." I don't know why it was funny, but yeah, it was called "Boogie in Your Butt." And I used to like literally quote Eddie Murphy's jokes in school, and I ended up failing the third grade, man.
What?
Yeah, I mean, nowadays they call it got held back or reclassification. Nah,
True.
I played too much, and so they thought something was wrong with me. They
Mm-hmm.
thought maybe, I needed to be in special education, and so I failed third grade, and I had to learn that you can't play all the time, but I fell in love with making people laugh, like to the point I didn't even care. I just came to school because I had an audience. And so we speed things up. When I got to, I always loved to make people laugh, but I never did stand up. When I get
Uh-huh.
to LA, in Los Angeles, I'm training with Maurice Green and these guys. But at night, I'm hanging out in the comedy spots like the Ha Ha Cafe, Improv, and things like that. So that's where the comedy bug hit me when I got out there. But I didn't know how to put it this way. I had to learn how to be funny and not try to be a comedian.
Okay.
Because I always thought if you do something well, then that's what you are. And I've
Okay.
learned that I'm not a comedian. I'm just somebody who can tell stand-up jokes and comedy well. Comedians, they travel. They use this money to pay their bills.
Hmm.
They sometimes they have roommates. They have writing partners. They go on the road and don't get paid sometimes because promoters are not on top of their game, saying that certain people, didn't get enough at the door. Like I experienced all of those things, and I realized that I don't want to be a comedian. I just want to be great at telling jokes and making people laugh. And so, yeah, I've always been able to make people laugh since the third grade, but I had to learn that you're not a comedian. You're just the funniest Olympic champion in comedy. And so
Okay.
that way I respect the craft. I respect what comedians do, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really good and have a passion for stand up.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Now on the flip side, growing up in Baltimore, when did you decide that you were even going to get into sports like that? Were you already like, was that, what I mean? Like, how did you, I guess, make that change? Or was it already in you? Was you already training? Like, tell me a little bit about that.
All right. So my first career choice, I wanted to be a dancer.
Really? Okay.
Now I don't mean like a stripper. I mean I wanted to be Turbo from Breaking, like Turbo and Ozone.
Oh.
And so I started pop locking and making money on the corner and stuff like that. And then it turned into us doing talent shows and competition. And we used to be in competition with people like Ruffins, Drew Hill, and we would actually beat them, in the contest, because people love to dance, and we will always have routines. We would take the money that we won from dancing and buy outfits so we can, match and things like that. Dancing started to play out. Nobody was dancing anymore. So then that's when I moved into football. So I plays football, bam, gets hit. Realize I don't like football no more. So I switched from football. I said, all right, we got to do something with this, man. So I switched from football to basketball. I said, well, maybe I'm a basketball player since I'm from Baltimore, Found out, sorry as shit. Can't get the ball in the hoop. I get so excited that when I shoot the balls, number air balls, nobody's passing me the ball. So but I ended up getting cut from the basketball team, and I asked the coach to let me stay and work on my game. He said, yeah. So I stayed, worked on my game. Report cards came out, and I ended up with a jersey through hard work. So I made a high school basketball team, and that just taught me that if you can work hard, you may not be the best, but if you work hard, you will get some kind of reward. And so that, one of my teammates told me, said, well, you should go out for track since the basketball season over. There's a lot of girls out there. I was like, all right, well, where I sign up at? Because that was the thing. Track and field is the only sport where you can actually train with the girls at the same time. And so I went for the trial for the track team. It was pretty good. And then I transferred, and that's when I started taking track serious in 1996 when track was at Atlanta and Michael Johnson had the gold shoes on.
Oh man.
Yeah. And so my mom was like looking at the TV, was like, ooh, Michael Johnson. And I'm like, are you looking at Michael Johnson or Michael's Johnson? So make a long story short, I see how mesmerized she was and my whole family. It was like, man, those dudes are good. And I was like, Mama, I'm going to be on that TV like that one day. You watch, you're going to be cheering for me like that. And sure enough, 4 years later, through the blessings of God, God let it happen where I made the relay squad as an alternate, not even knowing that I was going to run. And they put me on the relay, took me off, put me back on, took me off. All this happened in 45 minutes the day of the race. And so,
what?
Yeah, that's why we drop the stick all the time. United States, we always drop the baton because they take a long time to select the actual team. We don't get a chance to like bond. We don't get a chance to practice because America is so deep in the sprints. They don't know who's going to be on the team.
Okay.
And so to make a long story short, we won the gold through the blessings of God. Some people didn't like it. And yeah, that was the last time we won gold, for United States of America for the 4x1.
Okay. Now, back up, going from B-more to Florida. That's big. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big cultural change. And that was one question that I definitely wrote down that I wanted to ask you. Like, what was one of the major changes? Like, right on contact. Like, right as soon as you got a good hour, 2, 3, maybe a day from B-more to Florida. What was that like?
All right. There was a pit stop. That was one of the best pit stops in the world. I didn't get the SAT minimum requirement. So I had to go to Kansas for junior college, which was Barton County Community College in Great Bend, Kansas.
Okay.
That's where the culture shock kicked in.
Okay.
Because now you're going from, the city, basically, the inner city, to like long, flat dirt roads where it smells like cow manure and burnt trash. And you know, people were very friendly, but it wasn't the street life. And you had to really buckle down in your academics. You had to really buckle down in like the strength training to get to the next level. Once I did 2 years, sound like prison. Once I did 2 years at BCC, then I transferred to University of Florida. And to be honest with you, that was nice because we was around like tropical palm trees, and it wasn't no tornadoes, you know, because I first time I saw a tornado, I was scared. I ran, I called my mom. All the black folks was running away from the tornado. The white folks was running towards the tornado
Yeah.
with they pickup trucks and they camcorders like, woo, we gonna get this on, bitch. You know, they really in it, you know.
You right.
Yeah, and so so once I got to Florida, everything was tropical, everything was cool, but it was like, okay, now we got a shot to actually be the fastest in college. So yeah, that was the difference going from Baltimore to Kansas and then to Florida.
Okay. And being an athlete, you know what I'm saying, premier athlete, world class, world champion type athlete, how intense can that training be, man?
Brother, I didn't finish a workout until like a month later. It was very intense because you have people who've been training with people their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I started running track in '96, so I'm really 3 years in, while most of my training partners are like 10, maybe 12 years in. I had to learn how to breathe because I when I'm type of runner that when I run, I give 100%. I didn't know you don't give 100% because you want every interval. You know, you have to spread your distribute your energy over the course of the workout. So sometimes I would pass out in the warm up because I just didn't know how to train. I used to get muscle cramps every night, as far as muscle spasms because I was dehydrated, didn't understand. Muscles were just weak. When you train at that level, it's hard to get sleep at night because your neuromuscular system stay firing. And so the more intense the workouts are, the less sleep I used to get at night. And they say you get stronger through lifting weights, but the weaker I felt, the stronger I became. You know, when it comes to training, you never feel like you're actually strong. You're always going to experience muscle fatigue. And so I always felt beat down every day.
Okay. And was that a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, psychologically, it can take a toll on you because you don't even know if how fast you're going to really be. You just know you're going through this pain every day.
Okay.
You know, as far as being dizzy, as far as, you know, just deep tissue massages, pool workouts where you got to keep moving in the pool. You can't stop. You know, real vigorous type of training. I grew up watching Rocky 4 and Rocky 3. So Rocky kind of gave me an idea of this is what you're going to have to go through. And so all of that psychologically was tough. You know, so I'll hear some people talk about going through the military and stuff like that. It would be very similar, you know. Yeah.
Okay. Athletic Performance Inc. That's part of that's part of where you mentor and help runners. Did I say that right?
Yes, as API. I used to work there for like 10 years.
Okay.
So we parted ways.
Okay.
But you know, I have my own business where I have my own sports performance. It's called BW Pro Techniques.
Right.
And basically, you know, shouts out to API. Like when I started working at API, it was right after I graduated from college. And I learned that you can train speed for all sports. And so I was working with football players, basketball players, learning routes and directional change, like ways to teach speed, not just around the track. And so
Man.
from working at API, I learned how to run my own business and do it my own self.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And that was where I was heading with that. I was just gonna ask like what was your job? Like what did you do? And you basically just told me right then because now you're BW Technique, Pro Techniques doing that, but you are in the head. You the
Right.
main guy.
Correct.
Okay.
So I would
Okay.
have like individual sessions. I would have team training sessions,
Mm-hmm.
uh, football speed camps, and all of those things kind of sort of helped me when I was helping them run their business. It taught me, okay, maybe you could do this for your own business.
Hmm.
And so those were some of the things that I did at API that I do now for myself.
Okay. Uh the realest track and field show. I saw some of it. Now, was that like is that a ongoing show podcast where you and some of the other people get together that y'all run together, or explain that to me a little bit?
All right. It was created by Anson Henry, who's a Canadian Olympic runner, but he's
Okay.
also a digital creator as well. And myself, had come up with an idea, and we had another guy to do a show. And so we started talking about issues in track and field, and the other individual, I guess, he was so raw with his content and how he did things. We kind of just decided to part ways from that
Okay.
because we thought it would be a good idea. You know how people like drama, people like
Right.
controversy. And
Right.
so we thought that he would bring controversy and that, it would be really good for track and field. But once we moved forward, we realized we didn't want to align ourselves with, you know, just attacking athletes. Us being former athletes ourselves, we wanted to go the route where we respect the athletes so we can talk to the athletes and even help the athletes. And
Okay.
so when you come off as you don't care about them, or you're harassing athletes in their DMs and saying
Hmm.
negative things, we didn't want to be a part of that. So it's not a podcast, but it's a show that Anson Henry allowed me to utilize the platform to talk to some of the youth and some of the
Okay.
new people that are in track and field now.
Okay. Cool. That's great. That's smooth too. Um, Getting into I was watching one and I thought it would be dope to ask you this now. Where you was talking about you're never too young, never too old. And the way you explained that was funny as hell, but you was telling the truth at the same time because you was like, you can't be the fastest man in the world and you know that your body is too old to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was, and like the way you were saying it was so funny. You know what I'm saying? It made me smile, made me laugh. Damn near make anybody smile, laugh if they listen. You know what I'm saying? They understand really where you're coming from. So that actual quote came from you. You never too young, never too old. Would you mind explaining that a little bit more? What you was trying to say?
Like, okay, like for example, you're never too young can stand on all platforms, because if you learn a trade, or if you learn a skill, or you find out you have a passion,
Hmm.
um, as long as you work your craft, it doesn't matter how old you are.
Right.
You're going to get better at it. Now you may be 45, you may be 50, 60, but you're not too young to start doing something new. You know, they said you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but an old dog can learn a few new tricks. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? If an
Yep.
old dog has passion. And so
You're right.
that's what I meant as far as like you're not too young and you're not too old, because you're going to always be in a position where either you're teaching somebody or you're learning from somebody.
Mhm.
So as
I
long
like
as you
that.
have a passion and you stick to doing what you love, you're never too old and you're never too young to do it.
So okay. And shout out to Tasha Robinson. She said that her daughter runs for St. Thomas in Florida. Salute
Hey,
to that. Salute to that. Shout
okay.
out Shadow Panda. I see you, Shadow Panda. So another something I saw that you said that I thought was really cool how you was explaining it. You said questions that athletes be asking you when they be training, like why my feet hurt or why am I tired, and the way that you brought it back to them. You know what I'm saying? I can kind of took me back to like days when I was young. And my uncle used to have me working, and I'd say something hurting. He'd be like, "You ain't old enough for that to be hurting yet.
Right.
You ain't got no back. You ain't got no back yet. We talking about your back hurting. You ain't even got a full back yet. What you talking about?" So, where you was coming from with the athletes asking you for training, and then the way they like could get into that a little bit, man, because that was cool how you broke that down, if you don't mind.
Yeah, like some of the kids I talk to, um, through the DMs, they want to know, like, why am I tired all the time? And I'm like, why are you tired? And I'll ask them, do you have a job? They say no. I said, do you have any kids? They say no. So why are you tired? I need to know because you're too young to be tired for somebody who don't have a job, who don't have kids. Are you taking extra classes at night? No. Okay. Are you going to the weight room at night after our practice? No. Okay. I need to know, why is my athlete tired and he's doing nothing? you know. So yeah, that was the perspective I was coming from, because when I was in high school, I worked at McDonald's. I worked at Charlestown Retirement Center. I worked at Camden Yards nursing home. Um, I worked a lot of places. Salvation Army Boys and Girls Club, and I
Mm-hmm.
always had time to do my homework and to go to school. And I didn't have enough in it. I mean, I wanted to do more weightlifting after I got from work, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, y'all not even putting in the work that I was putting in, and y'all are more tired than me. So that's why I'm encouraging athletes to really to get out of saying that they're tired, and get out of laying down, and because you're not really putting in the work that you need to be putting in for you to be that tired.
True. I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Only thing I want to add to that is I work in a restaurant job. I love the
Yeah,
restaurant business. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
And one of my little coworkers, you know what I'm saying, he 18 now,
All right.
right? And he be rubbing his head down. Man, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I be looking at it. I'm thinking to myself like, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got no
Mhm.
kids. You know what I'm saying? Your sister got pregnant, you know what I mean? And you're trying to help her out. So I can understand you might have a little stress because your sister on, you know what I'm saying? But still, you ain't got no kids. And, moms and pops, that make sure you got the roof. Make sure you got the nice room. You go and when you spend money, you tell me about the games you want to buy. Got your
Right.
little ride, you know what I mean? It's like, dang, it's like, I'm like, why are you so tired, bro?
Mhm.
And that comes from exactly what you was talking about, and I dig that. Something else, this one I had to grab on this one because I go through this personally. Ghosting and zombieing. That was a golden platter that you held out right then, man.
Oh man.
I was like, yo, like he really, really is calling it out right now. Like, um, ghosting and zombieing, man. For those who don't know that catch on, what did you mean when you said that by ghosting and zombieing?
All right. Like when people are talking to you and communicating through the phone, and then next minute you communicate with them, and they gone. Like the number's blocked, no communication. I'm like, okay, that's ghosting. But then they'll 2 months later call you back. That
Yeah.
that's the zombie, and that's the zombie. They be like, I'm sorry, let's talk again. You know, I'm sorry, I was going through a lot in my life. Can we start over? And you be like, I'm with my family. Like, you know, I don't need no zombies, man. So you can't ghost me and then come back.
I felt
Zombie.
that.
Let's
I
have a
felt
new
that.
start.
I
Yeah, man, that's what that
felt
was
that,
about.
man. That was great, man. How you put that together, and then I'm gonna lead that to the Stay in Your Lane comedy mixtape. That's when I found out that you was on the Spotify and all that. So, but I didn't know if you was like doing music and comedy, but it seems like you do both of them because you rap as well, right? Music and all as well. So, bring me into that, man. Like, when did that start? You always been rapping too?
Man, I started rapping in '92, back when Das Effects, the bum stickety bum hop phase of hip hop.
I'm with you.
And so I would rap in high school, like people that know me from high school. I used to rap in high school all the time. I would like write these rhymes at night and remember them, right? Work on it on the bus. And then when we got in school, I already had everything planned out. So it was like an exercise where I could just rap on the spot, but I had a lot of stuff written. And so I never got the chance to go in the studio or surround myself with people that was musically inclined. Even though I went to high school with Rough Ends.
Wow.
One
That's
of them
dope.
was in my music class. And
Okay.
so I just never got a chance because I was so focused on trying to get a scholarship and focusing on athletics. You know what I mean? And to make a long story longer, I didn't
That's
start
cool.
recording until I was 34, like around 2013. And I started just writing rhymes and just really homing my skills in a good friend of mine's basement. And then
Yep.
I said, you know what, I want to take this serious because I noticed that a lot of people do music, but they just go in the studio and do music for the love of it. I was like,
Okay.
well, I want to at least get paid. So I learned how to copyright from us.gov.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through TuneCore to have the distribution and the publishing going the right way. And then that's
Okay.
when I started doing albums, rap hip hop albums with no cursing, with 100% no cursing.
That's dope.
And
That's
what I
dope.
was thinking was, if I'm going to do music at 34, I'm either going to make people laugh or I'm going to teach people.
Right.
And that way the curse words and the the content that I would use in my 20s and teens, that wouldn't rub kids the wrong way when they listen to me, Olympic
Understood.
champion, doing music, because I didn't have a blueprint. Like, there's no other Olympic champion out there that did some music that I can kind of follow the way and entertain people. So all of this is like, okay, I'm actually providing a platform for most Olympic sprinters who want to do other things outside of running.
Okay.
And so,
That makes perfect sense.
but then I started the comedy albums because every time I heard a comedy album, it was just a recording of them at a show, and they kind
Mm-hmm.
of put it on the album. Like when I told you about Eddie Murphy, right?
Right.
I wanted to go in the studio, copyright the actual jokes, and then do them in the studio and add backgrounds and sound effects to these jokes. So that way you have an actual album that's made in the studio. And I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be different with a comedy album. So you have a couple comedy tracks on there, but then you got a lot of actual just jokes.
Okay. Okay. Dope. All right. That back then that you giving them the best of both worlds.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Shout out to the guru. I see you. Tell me about something that I asked Marcel. I definitely want to ask you this because one thing I noticed, y'all use all y'all social medias, but it's the way that y'all use them. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is using your social media for your purpose. You know, we always hear, oh man, social media is the devil. Oh man, social media this, social
Mm-hmm.
media that. Oh man, drama this, drama that. I don't even get on this. I don't even get on that because.
Right.
Okay, but then when I see you, Marcy, myself, a couple of my other partners, a couple of my other homegirls, they use their stuff for what they are aimed at doing, their goal. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
like to make people laugh. At the same time, you want people to learn, listen, uh, uh, just giving a bright side to a dark side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, my question to you is, even though I said all that, what is your main purpose for how you use your social media, Mr. Williams?
to be honest, to take the talent that I have personally and to display it so opportunities open up.
Yes, sir.
Most of the business that I attract is not from social media,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good that people it allows people to see what I'm doing. So my purpose is really to expose my brand of not only comedy, but my brand of training,
Yes, sir.
my brand of clothing, as far as like my ski mask and my hoodies that I design. Also, it's a way to connect with people that does not live in my state that don't pay me. People like yourself, being
Yes,
able
sir.
to come onto your platform to speak to you and advertise what I do for a living. And at first, I was misguided. I was on social media to try to blow up.
Mm. Okay.
So I would duet. I would get to as next to women with big booties clapping, just so I can get 1 million views, so people can come see me. And it didn't work out well because people see Coach. What is Coach next to those butt cheeks? And I'm looking at the butt cheeks, and I gotta, and the parents come and say, "Hey, we want some speed training. I like the videos you do." And I'm like, what videos?" And so I had to tighten up on the social media, like don't worry about blowing up, and
Mm-hmm.
don't duet things that don't promote your business, because you're going to
Okay.
run into people who want to pay you their money. And so
Got
I
you.
had to refrain from doing duets big booties are nice, but if you're trying to advertise a business, it doesn't look professional. So I had to switch it up and actually start recording my speed sessions,
Yes, sir.
or give sound bites of my motivational speaking engagements to let people know that I'm serious about what I do and not just trying to get millions of hits.
You know what? You're so totally right because today, a website creator that I'm very close with, my friend Shannon, she said the exact same thing. Different words, but the same thing based on messing yourself up because you're not promoting what you about.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That will, and Shannon, you was right because Mr. B. Willis said it. Yeah, she was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
right.
You got to promote what you do, because if you don't
You're
promote it,
right.
nobody knows.
Nobody knows. You're right. You're right. That was some great advice too that I took. So thank you for that right there, Mr.
Oh,
B. Will, man.
yes, sir,
Uh,
man.
Now I want to ask you. You know what I'm saying? We talked a little bit about the music and stuff. So I have to ask you, who are your top 5 MCs, man?
Mm. Can we do this? Because that's not fair. Can we do top 5 MCs in a certain era?
Cool.
Like top 5 in the 80s, top 5 in the 90s, maybe top 5. You know what I mean? Because
Cool.
because every era is so great that it is really limited to 30 years of great artists. Like, you know
Yes,
what
sir.
I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
if I would go with the 80s, I would say Big Daddy Kane,
Mhm.
um, Run DMC,
Mhm.
LL Cool J,
Mhm.
Slick Rick, and a, a toss up between Rakim and KRS-One.
Yeah, that's a great lineup right there. That's a great lineup.
Okay.
Only person missing Coogee Rap.
Ah, see, that's what I'm saying. But see, he was part of the Juice Crew.
True. True.
So
Okay.
so
Okay.
so because then we would say rest in peace, Biz Markie.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's why I say it's hard. And this is just the 80s, brother.
It's just the '80s.
Right.
Okay.
So can we
Roll
go
on.
in the 90s?
Let's
So
go.
no, who's your top 5 in the 80s?
Top 5 for the '80s. You know what I'm saying? Like with me being a country boy in Alabama, I caught on late, but I was listening to what my big cousin was playing.
Uh-huh.
So I heard a lot of Run DMC.
Right.
I heard a lot of LL. Uh, I ain't gonna lie. For some reason I got into Lord Finesse. real
Lord
good.
Finesse.
I got into
Oh,
Lord
wow. Digging
Finesse
in the
real good.
crates.
You know what
Digging
I'm
in the
saying? For some
crates.
reason.
Yeah.
Also, let me see. If I had to think, if I had to go down two more, Biz
Well,
Markie for
well,
sure.
you
Because
down
he
south,
everywhere I
so
look, he look.
did you listen to Scarface and Ghetto Boys?
Yes, sir. Ghetto Boys first. Ghetto Boys more than Scarface at first.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Ghetto Boys more at first, and NWA of course, Ice Cube, Ice T. You know what I
All the
mean?
ices.
But to end off
Except for
the last
Vanilla
one for that
Ice.
5. See, you know what? A lot of folks didn't hate him at first until later on, once Hammer got wind of him. Then that's when he really, because I ain't gonna lie, he had a little style that I thought was cool at first. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? But then when Cuz made fun of him on In Living Color, it was over with after
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, but into the '90s,
Okay. So are we gonna go solo artist or group?
we can go solo.
Okay. All right. So in the '90s, gotta say Tupac.
Mm.
Yeah. See, everybody I like were in groups. Like it were all groups. It was like, you know what I mean? It was like Wu-Tang, Duck Down. What's that? What was that? Was that? What's the Duck Down? What? Black Moon and Smith and Wesson and
Boot
Helter
Camp Creek.
Skelter. There you go. So it was like Wu-Tang, Boot Camp Click, Gangstar, rest
Yeah.
in peace, Guru.
Yes, sir.
Nice and Smooth. Like,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? The '90s was just Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Mm.
Uh, shoot, Twister.
Man, Flip Mode Squad.
Yeah,
Child
man.
Called
The
Quest.
'90s was, and I ain't even get to Biggie. You had Biggie,
Woo.
Nas,
Jay.
Busta Rhymes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so we're gonna go Busta Rhymes, Nas. There's so many of them, yo. I just remember cat named Razkaz. You ever heard of
Oh
Razkaz?
man, yeah, I heard of Raz Cass. What?
Soul on Ice. He was a West Coast cat.
Hell yeah.
Mr. Pimp My Ride, Exhibit.
Exhibit.
Um, the Alcoholics. Yeah,
Alcoholics.
the
The Jungle
Alcoholics.
Brothers. The Beat Nuts.
So the whole Native Tongue with Tribe Called Quest,
The whole
Leaders
thing.
of the New School, and De La Soul.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah, yo.
You
So
take
the '90s was Naughty by Nature.
by nature.
They
The
were like
Far
one of my
Side.
favorite groups, Naughty by Nature. Onyx. Onyx
Oh
was
man.
dope. Yeah, yo. So
Ooh.
most of the people I listened to, they was like part of like a crew or a clique. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But like, yeah, you had Biggie, Busta Rhymes. I wasn't really into Keith Murray. I was more into Redman.
Yeah, yeah. I like the early first album, second album, Keith Murray. But then I started to lose touch with him in third, fourth, and then the Death Squad albums was jumping for me.
Yeah,
But it's just after that you know what I'm saying? Because like that one point, like the most beautifulest thing in this
yeah,
world, like hip hop then it was different. The videos and all that. It was like you couldn't wait to see it.
yeah.
You already dancing before the video even come on. You all, yeah, here he
Right,
come. You know what I mean?
right.
But it's like now, now like Redman, same with Redman. Like that first album, that second album, that third album, and possibly that fourth. But then like after the other ones, it seemed like the sound started to change. But he was changing as a man. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
Because I
And
can
him and
remember him
the
saying,
Method Man started clicking.
yeah. I remember Redman saying he don't want to. He said people always want me to go back to there was a dark side and all that. He said he don't want to be in the darkness no more. And when he said
Yeah,
that,
it was dark
I,
times back then.
you know what I mean?
Oh,
I couldn't do nothing but understand it. Go
the
ahead.
Roots.
Oh yes, sir. Oh man, what?
Yeah, I was listening to the Roots back. I thought the Roots was like, I thought they had like a New York kind of swag with a live band. You know what I mean?
Yes,
But it
yes.
was really
I always enjoyed Roots.
but it was really that Philly neo soul kind of sound.
Yes.
you know.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
man.
And
So I didn't even pick a time. My bad. I messed up, man. I was all over the place with the groups.
no,
So I
you
don't
good?
really. I'm trying to think. So okay, so we had Busta Rhymes, we had
Mm-hmm.
Redman, um,
Mm-hmm.
Nas,
Mm-hmm.
Biggie,
Mm-hmm.
and if I could pick one more, just go say Razzcast.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. And that's a good lineup right there. They'll go deep in the playoffs.
Now, how about yours?
Top for me, my five in the '90s. I'm saying I Method Man and Redman. I've been a fan of them for as long as I can remember. Method Man and Redman. And then when they joined forces on the How High and they came out with the
Oh,
Blackout
that
album,
movie.
that my prayers were answered because I always wanted them to, just like other fans, I wanted them to get together and do a whole album. You know what I'm saying? So Method Man, Redman, um, Nas, Five Dog,
Fife. Yeah.
and
Rest in peace, Fife.
if I had to pick one more, I gotta go with DMX.
Oh man, I forgot
Gotta go
about
with
DMX.
DMX. And
Yeah,
it's some I'm leaving out. Like
yeah.
it's
That's
some
good
I'm
shit
leaving
right
out that
there.
I don't want to leave out. But I'm the ones that made me always. They was in the
Oh
front of my CD book.
snap!
Who
Oh,
you thought of?
you're right, yo. Because that was a hot year that year.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
had '98. You had DMX. You had Big Pun.
Man.
You had You remember Cannabis?
What? Can I bust?
Yeah, you
What?
had Cannabis, and then you had Mos Def.
Yeah.
And
Shoot,
Talib,
you
Mos
didn't
Def
just
and
have
Talib
Most
Kweli,
Def.
Black Star.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
Black
Black Star.
Star.
Yeah,
Man,
and then
come on. And
then you had one more. You had Eminem.
Eminem.
So
And don't forget Cash Money and No Limit was blazing saddles down here
yeah, they
at
were.
that time.
Yeah, but
At
you
that
know what?
time.
No, Master P was killing. It was 97, 96. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
about all
He
that.
destroyed. Oh yeah, he destroyed. I
Oh,
bought every CD. Yeah. It's
yo,
coming to you now. It's coming to
remember
you.
Pharaoh Monch? You remember him?
What? Yes. Who can't remember? Get the man. What?
Yeah,
True.
yeah,
Awesome
man.
lyricist.
Yes, and OC. I don't know if you know OC.
Come on now. OC with the jewels. Jewels.
No,
OC.
I think so. He was with
When I
he
said
was he was with Pharaoh Monch called Fudge Pudge.
yes,
No,
yes. I know about OC.
organized
Organized.
confusion. Organized
That's it.
confusion.
That is it.
Yeah, and the
That
song
is it.
was called Fudge Pudge.
I know about OC.
Yeah,
Definitely know
man.
about
So
OC.
golly, yeah, man. You opened up a Pandora box when you said DMX.
Yeah, buddy.
Noriega, Capone Noriega.
CNN. You already know.
Then you had AZ
Z.
and
Yeah, the
and
firm.
what's his name? Yeah, Nature.
Nature.
Well,
Then
shit.
Cormega came afterwards. Cormega was there first.
Mm, mm. You know who was
Then
there before
Nature
Cormega?
came.
It was
Who?
Tragedy Gaddafi.
Yep. You right. Big L. Yeah,
Big
shout
L.
out to
There
Action
you go.
Atkins. Ain't
Oh man,
forget
I
Big
forgot.
L.
Cameron dropped in '98 with Horse and
Cameron.
Carriage.
Yeah, Mace.
Mace.
You know what I'm saying?
Murder Mace. Before Pastor Mace, it was Murder Mace.
And check this out.
The
You
Locks.
know him, Jada, and Mace, Jada, and Cam doing a tour right now. They just performed that song for the first time, Horse and Carriage on stage.
Yo, yeah, man. Cameron was dope, man. But yeah,
Yes.
so many in '98. Lil Kim album had dropped. Lil Kim and Foxy.
Yes. Those were the source was out then. You know, you can go look and get your
Source.
5 mics. The
Yeah,
source was out then.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For real,
yeah.
man.
Damn,
We
yeah,
missing
man.
that. Like we missing that. Like that's one thing that we missing with hip hop right now. The shows, the Yo MTVs and the rap cities, like they ain't got nowhere to share their stuff together as one conglomerate. They got to go everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? And I hate that crowd.
Well, I think too the reason why is because with easy access to like how we're talking about it now,
Right.
when you have
Right.
easy access to all types of media, I don't think people value the talent like they should.
True.
See, like we didn't have access to like phones, and if you didn't have cable, you didn't see the videos. Like, so you had to go to parties to see, and you be trying to look at the DJ's record to see who you could get the record from, right? And he had like a plain little sticker on top of his record, so you couldn't see what kind of records he had.
Right.
Record players was something you kept in your living room. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Where you went out to the store, the record store, and you didn't know the song, so you're like, "Yo, the song go like this." Oh yeah, I know that song. Come this way.
You
Like
already
you had
know.
when you had a passion for music, you had to go out and look for it. It wasn't easy accessible. And
True.
I just think with today and social media, we have so much access to great music that a lot of the artists and a lot of good music get lost by the wayside.
True. You true. You right. You right on that. I can't agree with you more. Now, side step, do a pivot to the. I want to ask, what is your style when you step to the stage? Because when I go and I look at your videos and your TikToks and stuff, you got a style that's different from anyone else's, which is good. So, like, what's your style? You know what I mean? Like, what's your what's your 1-2 when you step to the stage and in your mind once you hit the stage, they announce your name or whatever. Like, what's your style? Without telling any of your secrets.
No, it's great. I'm glad you actually want to know. Normally, oh my bad. Let me charge up.
I see.
That's crazy. The charger
Gotcha.
right
Gotcha.
here didn't plug it up. So normally when I get on stage, I have to fill the room out. So while I'm sitting there, I'm filling the room out, seeing how old people are, if they're black, white, if they're mixed, if they're predominantly women, and I'm adapting to the room. So I'm seeing the other comics are saying certain jokes, and I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, I'm not going to say that. Okay, I'm not going to talk about that. And then what I do is I basically just get on stage and I have like 4 PowerPoints on like 4 topics I think I want to talk about.
Okay.
Sometimes I totally forget it. You get lost in one and you just forget. You just kind of go with the flow of the people. And so
Mhm.
that's what I basically do. I'll have like 4 points I want to talk about, and then I'll adapt to the people, and then I'll talk about whatever I want to talk about that evening. Like if I watch the news and if I saw something happening, some current events. And then right at the end of my show, sometimes I love doing impressions, impressions and characters and sound effects. And so sometimes I'll just go off of my head. I'll tell the crowd, give me an impression you'd like me to do, and we're just going to make it happen. Now, I don't know what they're going to do, but I always, at least 99% of the time, I'll just jump right into character and then just do it like that and just let God work, do his thing.
Okay. Okay. Now, I, this question right here, I reworded it in my head right then as you was talking. What did you learn from your best time on stage, and what did you learn from your worst time on stage, if there ever was one?
All right, I'll just go with the second one first. I
Okay.
learned when you get booed, right? You have to understand that you are funny. And I learned that when I got booed, I had to learn how to have a setup,
Mhm.
meaning have a premise. Start off talking about something. I also learned that you don't ask the crowd questions every time you tell them the joke. Like
Hmm.
how many people in relationships? How many people have kids? How many people have a job? Where are my drinkers out there? Like, and I found out that if you just go on with your material and stop asking the crowd a question because they see a joke set up,
Mhm.
just get right into what you're saying and be funny. Stop setting things up like every comedian. And I told myself, if comedians are doing this, having the setup, don't set up like that. Just go right in with your material and have something worth talking about. Because sometimes we look for some of the funny things to say, and just because it's funny to you, it may not be relevant to other people.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had
Okay.
to learn that when you tell jokes that other people can relate to, the laughs become louder because now they know what you're talking about. They can identify with it. They probably had a cousin or somebody with it. And so I that's what I learned, that when I got booed, you need to learn how to have something to talk about,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, not to always put a setup like everybody else, and basically talk about things that people can relate to.
Okay. Do you have to be quick and witty in comedy? Do you think that quick and witty is a needed thing or a part of your arsenal?
I think it's natural.
Okay.
And I think once you have the mic in your hand, it helps to be well rounded.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are in an uncomfortable situation, if you've been exposed to a lot of culture, or if you've been practicing for a long time, then it's easy to be witty, you know, when you study your craft. So yeah, I would say that's a gift, but you have to work it, because if you're not on stage and you're not working your timing, it's going to,
Mm-hmm.
everything, your rhythm is just going to be a little off as far as being witty and being on the spot.
Okay. Okay. What's the but hold on. What's the main difference between a funny person and somebody trying to be funny? Like you said
Right,
earlier about I'm not a comedian. I'm just the fastest, funniest, fastest man.
right.
And I understood that. So somebody that I know is funny, like Chip Hale or somebody like that, or Mr. B. Willer, compared to somebody else, like, you know what I'm saying, that think they funny or trying to be funny, and they might get a little giggles and sniggles here and there, but it ain't like the cock that you're gonna get when y'all start going. So
Right,
what is it? So like, what is the? So how can you? What is the difference coming from you looking, seeing it? You know what I'm saying?
right. I think the difference between acting funny and being funny. Acting funny is when you're saying things to make people laugh for a purpose,
Hmm.
right? And some people can practice saying things to make people laugh. But when you're being funny, it's not even written down. Um, you're actually making people laugh from what you're saying naturally, and you don't practice that. They could be the elderly lady at the cookout who's just witty, just constantly making people laugh. She's never been on stage. She's never did stand up. So she's not acting funny. She's being funny. Um,
Okay.
that uncle at the spades table, that every time he opens his mouth and say something, just with his accent or whatever, he's being funny. Then you got guys like how I was when I first got on stage. I'm doing all these jokes that's, you know, I was acting funny, you know, getting on stage, talking about, so any people in relationships? So, how many people got fingerprints? So, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's acting funny. And I was doing that at first when before I actually had to learn that, you have to talk about what you are. Like, because like prime example, this was a good experience. I had got off stage one night. This was in Florida, and I
Hmm.
ripped it. I killed it. I was just feeling great about myself. And I go to the back, and this comedian said, B, you're okay. But when I close my eyes and I turn my back and listen to your comedy, I don't know who you are. You sound like every comedian that grabs the mic. And I said, so I don't follow what you talk about. He said, when I close my eyes and listen to you, I should hear exactly who I'm listening to. I should know what kind of job you had, how
Hmm.
your mama treats you,
Hmm.
where you from, the stories you had, your most embarrassing stories, you know, your high school experience. I should hear that I'm listening to an Olympic champion. I'm listening to an entrepreneur. You know what I mean? I'm listening to a father. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And those are the things that I had to learn to bring into my comedy so I wouldn't act funny. I would actually be funny. So when you hear my comedy, you know exactly who you're talking to, unless I'm doing an impression.
Okay. And the impressions and stuff, that's always been a part of you in your
Yeah,
repertoire as well?
yeah.
Okay.
Growing up, I used to mimic a lot of different characters, but I was a big fan of Police Academy.
Man. Officer Jones.
Yeah, yeah,
Officer
yeah.
Jones.
Michael Winslow,
Yeah,
man. And so
yeah,
I
buddy.
was just inspired by him. He just would make all these different sound effects, and he was just different. Like, I didn't even really know how he talked. I just knew that he made sound effects, and everybody remember that guy. And so, and growing up looking at Eddie Murphy, like I said, him with all these different characters and these different sounds, and even him doing an impression of Bill Cosby and doing an impression of Richard Pryor. No comedian has ever did, like, until he did impressions of other comedians,
True.
in their special. So, I was really inspired by Eddie Murphy, Michael Winslow, and Damon Wayans, and the
Yeah.
whole In Living Color
Mm,
thing with characters.
yes.
And so that's what kind of like gave me the confidence to say, okay, yo, you do a lot of impressions, but you don't do them. And so that's why I just added them into my arsenal.
That's that. You know what? I had to relate with you on that because I was born in 1980.
Okay.
So, like, I got to see, it's a lot of stuff that I had to sneak and watch.
Hmm.
Big Mama come and turn this VCR tape off. You feel me watching that stuff back there? You turn that stuff off. And
Right.
when you said Police Academy, you know what I'm saying, 1 through 5, because them was some of the best ones. But that one, I know you remember, it was Citizens on Patrol. Citizens on
Yeah.
Patrol.
Yeah.
I never forget when that dude got out that bus, how Jones was mimicking him walking,
Yeah.
and he was just making
Making that squishy sound, the squishy sound. Yeah.
and it's like, yo, man, like that kind of comedy, you know what I'm saying? Like it leaves a mark on people, and leave a good mark. You know what I'm saying? Cause like the stuff that you're saying and talking about, like I can relate to it. I ain't been there, but I can relate
Yeah.
to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that brings me to ask you this, Mr. B. Will. Comedy then and the comedy now. What's one of the biggest differences that you can see in it with your eyes, man?
Um, Easy access to more talented people. Um, a open lane where people could be free and make people laugh without getting on stage.
Mm-hmm.
You don't no longer need Hollywood to get exposure with your talents. Like, if you work hard in your own city, your own town, in your own house, you can
Mm-hmm.
you can have millions of views and make millions of dollars.
True.
And so I just think comedy is gotten so broad to the point. There's so many platforms that there are not too many rules out there.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
on a live with a brother not long ago. I don't want to say his name.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good on Def Jam, and so
Okay.
we was on a live many days laughing and joking, and he said to me, "Hey man, let me school you real quick, young fella. Let me school you on this comedy." He was like, you got to get in the character and then you got to shut it down, and I'm thinking to myself like, nigga, I don't need no schooling. I didn't ask you to school me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just people feel they gotta, because they've been on Def Jam, that they gotta school you. No, you don't. We're just not on the same levels right now. I'm excited to be here making people laugh. You seem like you're a little irritated. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so instead of me going back and forth with the brother, I just said, all right, man, look, much respect to you, everything you do. Thanks for the advice. have a good one. And it went off like that. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, this is why I don't deal with certain comedians. It's like I travel alone. I thought, you know, when you got in the comedy game, you get with a couple writers, you get yourself a team, everybody, this, boo, boo, boo. I've done that for many years, and I've seen guys who got with me retwist my jokes, and now they're on television telling another version of my jokes because we used to work together, and I helped them out with the jokes because I put some of the punchlines in there. And so I learned that when you sit down and you write with people, or people come up and be like, yo, man, you should say this or you should say that. Okay, well, this is why a lot of people sound alike. Because y'all are working together and y'all using each other's thought patterns. So I don't even like really working around other comedians because I don't want to sound like the people that surround me who may be inspired by me and I may be inspired by them. Because it's easy to sound like somebody if you're around them all the time. You hear it. You hang with people all the time to the point they start almost looking alike. You're like, are y'all brothers? Nah, man, we should, you know, they just have a certain, you know, they just been around each other so long, they look like they need a daddy check.
You
You
true.
know?
Yeah, you right.
But
Okay.
yeah, man, I've experienced, you know, really the other side of comedy where I've literally called, oh, check this out. So I met Bill Cosby, right? He's a big time track and field fan. It was awesome. But the way I met him was so left field. I'm with my coach, and my coach taps him on the shoulder from the back. You know how older people do. They tap him on the back to see what he's going to do.
Yeah.
So Bill turned around, and he said, oh, shit. So, you know, I'm used to seeing Dr. Huxtable on TV, never curse. I said, you curse? He said, hell yeah, this is my motherfucker right here. And I was like, oh my God. Like, and so he was really nice, man. He would hand out plaques at the pen relays to the high schoolers who went in Philly. And, you know, he was just a really good track and field fan. It was like an honor to meet him because, you know, this is not a comedy club.
Right.
You know, you meeting Bill Cosby on your platform. And so I asked him for advice. You know, my coach gave me his number. I gave him a call, and I hit him up, and I said, hey, how you doing, Mr. Cosby? He said, who is this? I said, this is Benard Williams. I met you at the Milrose games. He said, oh, okay. How you doing, son? I said, I'm doing stand-up comedy, and I need some advice. He said, okay, what you want to do is you want to go and write your material. Then you want to go to the club to try out your material. I said, okay. I said, do you have any connections or anybody I can talk to? He said, I do not. I said, okay. He said, and good luck. I said, all right. And then I hung up, and that was the best advice ever. I started writing, and I started hitting the stage. And yeah, so, you know, it's good to get advice from people, but you got to actually get up, go and do it, you know, because if you're expecting the triple OGs to give you connections, or if you're expecting people to give you this because you're a gold medalist, you got another thing coming. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. And I found out I don't want to be a comedian. You know why? Because comedians never retire. They never retire. How am I going to get a job as a comedian if they never retire?
I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
Didn't think of that. You made me think then.
They never retire. Like, you be 45, 50 years old waiting to blow up, an up-and-coming comedian. They ain't going nowhere. Like, every occupation that you go to, there's a new person in there, whether it's a coach or an athlete. They filter in some of the old, and then they bring in the new, you know? That's like watching Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan out there still playing right now. You know what I mean? And so
True.
I told myself, I said, you know what? Stop trying to be a comedian. Just be yourself. And you can just do stand-up comedy and just be funny, you know? And once I stopped trying to be a comedian, that's when all the opportunities started opening up. I started hosting my own comedy shows. I started paying other comedians and realizing why comedians don't get paid. You know, when you have your own shows and you're paying comedians, a lot of promoters don't want to pay them because they're not selling no tickets. You know, I told you we have a show 2 months ahead of time. I have not seen my flyer promoted on your page. I have not seen no clips of any comedy on your page. And you come to my show, you tell your 5 minutes of jokes and 10 minutes of jokes, and you want your money. That's cool, but you ain't bring no money in here. All these people, these are my people. These are my family members. And so I learned that if you're going to have a show, you need to book assets, not liabilities. You need to book people who are going to bring money in so we all can win, not just have a comedy show and have a budget for people who are not even promoting the show. So I had to learn to stop being a comedian and just be funny, be who you are, be a promoter, be an owner, you know, and that way you can see the real business side of it, because it's show business. You know?
Now that's a perfect way to segue into this one. This is a serious one right here. The biggest misconception, and you know, already touched on this like a little pin. You know, already poked at it a couple of times, but now I want you to get on it right here. The biggest misconception of a world-class athlete as yourself and as a comedian that people forget about or don't think about. You know what I'm saying? Floor is yours.
Hold up. Say that one more time.
The biggest misconception that the people that have not or don't know what it's like to be a world-class sprinter, runner, Olympian, and as a comedian. Basically what I'm saying is they look, that's like you said, just because I won gold medals don't mean I can get this, this, and this. Just because I'm a comedian don't mean this, 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 and that. Somebody may be thinking, oh, man, he got it. He doing it. He got it. They got it. They doing it.
The biggest misconception,
yes, sir.
As far as the Olympic champion, the biggest misconception is they think that we are rich. And they think that the gold medal is real.
I'm one to, the medal ain't real?
There you go. There it is. There it is. Now, the money that they paid me for 4 years at Nike, the money's real.
Okay.
You know, you get hundreds of thousands of dollars. But the actual medal is not real. They stopped making real medals in 1980 when the U.S. boycotted. And so a lot of people give praise to medals, and it's just an object. It's an object. Another misconception.
Can I ask you just one question? Yeah. Can I ask you one question before you go any further? Does that mean like all the gold medals, like even Dream Team gold medals?
They all fake.
Damn! Damn it! I watched that documentary. I watched that damn documentary. God, dog it. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
It blew my mind. Like, it blew my mind when I found out, and it wasn't when I tried to pawn it or anything. I found out right after we won, because I thought I thought like how y'all thought when you win the gold medal, you go out to get some millions of dollars. And so I found out that none of it is real. The Olympics isn't real. You know, every time you see like a world's fastest humans and things like that, right?
Yes, sir.
Most of these guys, most of them are performance enhancement on steroids. Not all of them, just most of them. And the information is out there. They have a documentary called 979 where they talked about the Carlos Ben Johnson thing.
Yeah.
99% of the field was on steroids except for the guy from Brazil. Wow. But they banned Ben Johnson. They banned Ben Johnson, though. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, man. So back to your question. Yeah, the biggest misconception is that the Olympics is like this grand thing, and companies make billions of dollars off of it, and the athletes don't get paid. Nobody gets paid for the Olympics. Nobody. The money comes in endorsements after the Olympics, but Nobody. Simone Biles, Kobe, LeBron, nobody gets paid for the Olympics.
Dang.
Yeah, man. So that's the biggest misconception with track and field. It's almost like the movie The Wizard of Oz. You know, you go on this yellow brick road, like that gold yellow brick road, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna get you a heart, and I'm gonna get you a brain, and I'm gonna get you some courage, and you get all the way to the Olympics. You get all the way to the Olympics, like you get all the way to the, you get all the way, you're about to get your wishes granted, right? And then you find
Right.
out it ain't real, and there's a little dude behind the curtain, the wizard. He's like, oh, what are you doing here?
Oh my God.
Yeah, man, you find out it's just not real. So yeah, those are all the misconceptions about the Olympics. And I talk about these things in the realest track and field. And a lot of people don't want to talk about it because a lot of people make money off of those gold medals, you know?
True.
So when I go to my motivational speaking engagements, I let them know you don't do it for the medal. It's the journey and the competition. You do it for
Right.
the win, because if
Do it for
you
the
do it
W.
for objects, you do it for money, that's going to go away. And once you get it, the motivation is gone. You know what it's like
True.
to win a gold medal your first year, find out it's fake, and now you got 10 more years of this sport. I got to muster myself up. I got to get my energy up every year to train hard as possible for another fake Olympic medal.
Hey, man. That mean they've been fooling us for a long
I
time.
call it Olympic fool's gold.
Yeah.
Track
Lee.
and field. Yeah,
You
man.
got two questions. You got two questions down here, and I didn't want
No,
to avoid them.
don't worry.
Tasha Robinson.
All right, cool. I'll answer those. But the second part of your
Go ahead.
question was,
I'm sorry.
no, it's okay. It was the misconception about comedy.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
the misconception as far as people think that I do comedy to blow up. I'll tell people, I do stand up. They be like, oh man, maybe you'll blow up and be like Kevin Hart one day. And so I want people to know that everybody who does comedy is not doing it to blow up. Some people just love making people laugh. I like going to bar and grills, getting some hot wings, just making people laugh. I'm not in it to blow up. And so
Right.
that's the other misconception that people think when you do comedy, you're trying to blow up.
True. Okay. All right. Also, just Marcy, she made it in,
Hey,
and
Marcy.
Miss Tasha Robinson wanted to know, did you run with Tyson Gay?
Yeah, Tyson Gay actually went to Barton County and was with my coach. Yeah, I ran against him in 2003 and 2004.
Man. And Miss Marcy wanted to know, what year did you win the medal and what sport?
I won the gold medal in 2000, and it was for the 4x1 relay in track and field. And then I was fortunate to earn the silver medal in the 200 in 2004.
Okay, cool. Now, I have 5 words for you, and these words I'm going to say to you, and I just want you to give me the first thing that come out of your head. And I feel like what you'll say will be very interesting. I'll give you an example. Like if I say stop sign, you're going to say something like, don't stop, don't go. Like, get
Okay,
killed if you run it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Something
let's
like
do
that.
it. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
okay. So I got 5 of them for you. The first one is the 90s.
Hip hop.
Okay. And that's crazy. My second one was hip hop.
Shoot. Art.
Okay. Laughter.
Depression.
Okay. Morals.
Mistakes.
Okay. And the last one is audience.
Laughter.
Gotcha. Boy, that's crazy, man. Like the word I had to make. Let me tell you what laughter, hip hop, the 90s, audience, and morals. And it's like you answered 2 with 2 and then took the other 2 and made them. That's dope how you did that.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
let's
You
do it.
fast,
Let's do
man.
it.
You faster than I thought you was, man.
Oh man.
In fact, I know you. God, dog. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we broke down, the start. I know, so I asked you about the track and field. We broke down some of the comedy stuff, and you definitely gave me both sides of it. You know what I mean? So I believe I got two more questions I want to ask you, but before I ask you, I want to get you in this bonus round, man, because I know we're gonna have some fun with that.
All right, let's do it.
My this or that questions. People in the chat, y'all know y'all can play along too. You know what I mean? This is the B side of Willa edition of my Cooks 24. This or that. People can play along. Pick one you like. If you don't like now one of them, if you like both of them, keep them. And if there's one you want to elaborate on, feel free. So,
Okay.
which one? Stand up or sitcom?
Damn. Sitcom.
Sitcom. Okay. Okay. I kind of thought you would say
I was
stand
going
up, but you got me
to
with
say
that one.
stand up. I just wanted to make it interesting. I didn't want to make it easy. Yeah, I didn't want to make it easy. You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. I got you. What up, 50, Mr. 5850? Chefs, I still see you there.
What up,
Okay.
kid?
Eddie Griffin or Cat Williams?
Oh, Cat Williams.
Cat Williams.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one and only Cat Williams. Yes, yes.
All right. All right. Uh, put these in 1, 2, 3. Ice Cube, Snoop, Too Short. Who your number one? Who your number two? Who your number three?
Snoop number 1, Ice Cube number 2, Too Short number 3.
Okay. Once again, one more. 1, 2, and 3. Kobe, LeBron, MJ. Who would be your 1, 2, and 3?
MJ, Kobe, LeBron.
Oh man, I love to hear that. Like that. I like that. Okay. Okay. Spike Lee or Singleton?
Spike Lee.
Spike Lee.
Yeah.
Okay. Chris Tucker or Mike Epps?
Oh shoot, man. That's messed up, man. But
Oh,
I
okay. I
gotta go.
had
I got
to.
You said Smokey or Day Day. All right, I'm going with
Yeah.
Day Day. I'm going with Day Day.
Go with Day Day. Day Day. Yes, I love it. Okay. Pac or Biggie?
You know, that's difficult because when I was growing up, I liked Biggie.
Mm-hmm.
But once I got older and paid attention to content, I appreciated Pac more. So Biggie was my favorite back in the day, but if I had to pick one based off of content and talking about social injustice today, I would have to say Tupac.
Okay, okay. And Marcy wanted to know why you said depression when I said comedy. She wanted to know where did that come from?
Because in the world of comedy, what I've learned was that there are a lot of depressed people. From the comedians, a lot of comedians are very depressed, and comedy is a place where the laughs get extremely loud with depressed people. The audience to the comedians. I mean, yeah, from the audience to the comedians. So when you said comedy, I was like depression, like because it helps with people who are not feeling well. You know, they forget about their problems for about 2 hours, man.
True.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's why I said depression.
You're right. You're right.
Comedy is like a medicine.
When somebody crying and you happen to be right there and you can actually make them laugh in the middle of crying to where they stop crying, you're bad. You bad.
Or
They're
crying laughing, like they're crying with laughter and tears.
You are bad. You a bad man,
Yeah,
a bad woman if you can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Okay. Back to it. TLC or SWV?
You know, that's crazy. I took Chili out on a date on reality TV. I was on a show called What Chili Wants.
What?
I went on a date with her after the episode with Floyd Mayweather, man. But
what?
I'm gonna go with SWV on this one.
SWV. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. this go back to something you said early in the show. And I'm glad I looked down and seen I had
Oh,
it.
snap.
Are you more
Oh,
of
I'm
a
sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. He said, look at Robin Williams.
true
Right.
chef? True.
Right.
Hold on. Okay, Tasha Robinson. I was finna. Let me ask what she did. You ever run at Con Stadium for Classic Reebok? I probably seen you. My daughter ran out there at 7 years old. At
No, I didn't get a chance to run in the Reebok Classic. I was in high school around that time.
okay.
And Reebok was like
Okay.
doing their thing, but I was at the Nike Classic, and they didn't allow us to like run at other shoe companies sometimes. Like others,
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like it would have been nice to run at an Adidas Classic or Mizuno or something like that. But yeah, I wasn't popping. I was in high school when Reebok was doing their thing.
Okay. Okay. There you go, Tasha. All right. Are you more of a teacher or are you more of a learner?
Oh man,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say equal
Okay.
because I'm one of those people. The minute I learn something, I can't wait to share it and teach it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, I would say equal.
Okay. Right. It's going. Here's going an interesting matchup for you: Martin Lawrence or Sherman Hemsley.
Ah, that
Yeah. Yeah, I
I,
did it. Uh huh.
I
I
would.
did that.
You know what though? I'm gonna go with
Yeah, I
Sherman
got him.
Hemsley, man. Rest in
And so you have to slide with him. Because
yeah.
227 was way before Martin
But
was.
the Jeffersons. The thing about it, that whole aura that
Mm-hmm.
Martin has on his show, Sherman Hemsley started.
Yes.
The dynamic between him and Pam is from Red Fox and Esther.
Mm.
You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
Martin was really inspired, but these like Sherman Hemsley was like the first Martin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he started
True.
on the Archie Bunker show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? It's just full circle. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Dope one. Dope one. All right. I had to make that look. Okay. Let's take it back to the show enough days when we were sitting in front of the TV. Price is Right or Wheel of Fortune?
Price is Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yo,
Love
because
it. Wheel of Fortune right
they
next to it.
because Vanna White, she was cool, but she was the only one. The Price is Right. They had
Had plenty
different
of.
women all the time with those hands, over the
You know what
spaghetti
I'm saying?
sauce.
Don't
You
need
be
doing
looking at them
the
and like, ooh,
little
look at them
thing.
hands.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Are you the type of person that the glass is half empty or the glass is half full?
Depending on the situation. Like
Depending on the
if I'm
situation.
struggling and I just want to get it over with, it feel like the glass is half full. But if I'm having a good time and I
Mm-hmm.
don't want the party to end, it's always like half empty.
Okay. Okay. And that's understandable. It's understandable. Um, I'm gonna hit you with just a few little sports ones.
All
Rodman
right.
or Malone? Power forward. Rodman or Malone?
I'm biased on this because Dennis Rodman got championships.
Mm-hmm.
Two,
Mm-hmm.
the way he played the game, I think he was cheating. Because he was grabbing players on the butt cheeks, putting his thing all on their butt and harassing people. I don't condone that. But at the
Yeah.
same time,
Understood.
he has the championship. He's a good team player. And he has the most rebounds and one of the players with the most rebounds in history.
Yep.
But I would have to pick him. But I'm just saying I don't like his style of play. So I'm gonna go with Rodman.
True. Okay.
Karl
Okay.
Malone, on the other hand, he made a child with a 16-year-old, and they managed to keep that covered up. And I didn't appreciate that.
Damn.
So yeah,
I didn't know. Yeah, you put me on game then. Ain't no mailman was mailing like
yeah, he
that.
was delivering, and it wasn't cool, man.
Dang. man. God, boy. See what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
man.
Put me on game. Okay. Patty LaBelle or Gladys Knight?
Gladys Knight.
Gladys Knight. Okay. Living single or hanging with Mr. Cooper?
I'm gonna go with
Mm.
oh man, living single. Living single.
Okay. I almost thought you were gonna say
Yo,
hang on Mr. Cooper,
I used to
but you
love
can.
hanging with Mr. Cooper, but the thing about living single was they were like the first friends.
Yeah,
And then
you're right.
you had to show girlfriends. Remember girlfriends?
Yeah, I remember
So
girlfriends.
that was similar to living single. So living single laid the blueprint for a lot of those sitcoms where you had four adults sharing the same place and living life in one
Hmm.
roof with
Okay.
no kids.
No,
So
no
yeah,
kids.
in
All right.
New York,
No
right? You know,
animals either.
right.
Okay.
No pets or nothing. Yeah, but then it was like Living Single was a spinoff of the Golden Girls. You know,
Let's be watching right there. Okay. We're gonna stay on sitcoms for a second or shows. Yo MTV Raps or Rap City?
Mm. Rap City.
Rap City. Okay. This one right here, I know the answer, but maybe I don't. But it's an interesting one. New York Undercover or The Wire?
The Wire.
I knew that. I knew it.
Yo, it
Cause
was
man,
just
I
something
just
about New York Undercover, because the dude that played in there, he was in the bad video, and then he was in what's that song with Debbie Allen? Fame, the show Fame.
oh he in that too.
Yeah, yo. So he was just that light-skinned Puerto Rican dude that looked like the '80s guys. The
Oh
'80s
yeah,
was like, anything that was light, bright, damn near white, that was like what was
yeah.
popping back in the '80s. So yeah, I
Puerto
had to go with
Rico.
The Wire. The Wire was a little bit more gritty, and it's Baltimore.
Yeah, and it's be more. I watched it and I went back and binge watched it, and it was like nothing else on TV really mattered until I got from season one to the end of season five.
Man.
And when I got to the end, man, I was madder than a
Yeah,
mug,
and
man.
know, I had no idea Idris Elba was from the UK.
Man.
Like now, every time you see him in a movie, he has the Baltimore, Maryland voice, like the accent.
Yep. Yep. I was listening. I was tripping out too. Because there's a lot of people in that series that was little bitty. Wasn't even stars
Michael,
yet. And now it's
Mike,
like
Michael B. Jordan,
Michael B. Jordan,
Michael Williams, rest in peace. Michael K.
the
Williams, rest in
William.
peace. Remember the white guy? I think he's from the UK too. He kind of looked Spanish. He
Trying to
was a
remember
detective.
which one.
He was like,
Oh, talking about McClick, the main
yeah,
dude.
the main guy.
Okay,
Yeah,
McClick,
he's from
you
the
know what I'm
UK.
talking about.
Yeah, he's from the UK too. So it
And
was just cool.
Bunky too.
Yeah,
The big black dude, him
yeah,
too.
yep.
I
Yeah,
was
man. So
like,
yeah, The Wire.
damn, man.
Yeah,
Met the
they had
man.
but they did have they had a Baltimore native in there who was an excellent actor. I was
Mm-hmm.
glad. His name is Larry Gilliard. He played D-Lo, Barksdale,
Barksdale. Oh,
the brown,
okay.
the one the brown skin one, his brother.
I got you now. I remember now.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
man.
remember now.
I actually grew up with his brother right around the corner from my house.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he was like literally. I'll be that dude that knock on the door like, "Hey, can Jim come out and play?" All right, hold up. Hey, Jim, your boy outside. Burnout outside. It was one of those. Yeah, yeah, man. Like I grew up like and I knew he went to acting school in New York, but
Mm-hmm.
he's been in Kings of New York, Waterboy, um, uh, The Living Dead. Yeah,
The
he's been.
dude with the gap.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, man. So it was good to see him actually do extremely well, and he's from Baltimore. You
Wow.
know,
That's dope. Okay. Okay. Smooth. All right. Now let me get to some that require a little more deep thinking for you. These will be the
no
last ones, and you do a
worries, man.
great
Hey,
job.
man, we can do this
Cool
all
answers.
night.
Passion. Which one? Which one better fits you? Passion or stability?
Mm, passion.
Passion. Okay. And if you want to say why, you can. If not, I'll go to the
The
next
re
one.
Okay,
Go ahead.
the reason why is because without the passion, there is no stability. Like if you don't have a love for something, something that makes you want to get up every day,
Hmm.
then I can guarantee you're not going to be stable.
Okay. Good answer. Too. You got to love it. You got to love it.
Yep.
Which one do you organically work with the most? Logic or emotion to figure out stuff?
I ain't even going to lie. Um, Logic would be the best answer, but emotions do take, emotions are there. And the
Hmm.
older I get, the more I realize that you got to, you can't, you want to control emotions, but if you don't have the logic,
Hmm.
you're liable to do some things that can end you up in a place you don't want to be, whether it's in
True.
prison, dead, when you don't logically think. But emotions are definitely are important to consider. So I would just say, if I had to pick one, I'll just say logic.
Okay. Um, would you rather have the most utmost confidence, or would you rather have the utmost awareness?
Awareness,
Okay.
because you
And
can be
reason why?
confident all day, and so you're not aware, you're gonna get knocked out.
True. 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 That's super true. Super true. Okay. Which one do you think is the strongest? Words or actions?
Hmm.
Hmm.
Actions are stronger,
Actions.
but
Hmm.
words, man, like I would say they both equal, but actions, but words. See, that's why we have cyberbullying, and that's why a lot of kids are hurting themselves
True.
because of the words, right? But if someone take those words and they put them out there, you know, that's a form of action.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So people say, I don't know how we got bullies. All you got to do is just press the off button. No, it's the things that was said that drove that action to happen.
Yes.
So so words are very powerful. And just like with you and I, we're hip hop fans, we listen to a lot of words
Right.
with people, and words move people. When you're
Yes,
in the
sir.
comedy club as well, or speaking engagement, or even in church. Um, so yeah, actions mean more, but words are very, very, very powerful. Like when you hear a artist say, "I don't know if I'm gonna live to see 21," and then all
Mm.
of a sudden he passes away at 21.
Mm.
Even though the actions, rest in peace, Juice World. Even though the actions had taken place, he already put the words out there
Yeah, man.
before the action had happened. So that's why that was a little tough for me to answer, because actions do matter. And people say it's all about that action.
Right.
Words, you can say whatever, but you have certain words when you're talking about politics.
Hmm.
Um, when you talking about Dr. Sabi, the things that he
Hmm.
studied, and how he cured AIDS, and a man from AIDS, and how he cured people from cancer. Just listen to the words and his teachings.
Hmm.
Martin Luther King's words. These words, and now you know, he was right. There's a lot of mixed families, black, white, you know, some of them mixed up, look Puerto Rican. So, you know, words are very important. And I think they're just as important as actions.
Okay. Yeah, you right too. You sure right. Trigger words. You right about that. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Um, which one? And I know you'll answer this one very good. Kindness or honesty?
You
You
say
know what I'm saying?
kindness
What
or
when
honesty?
you kindness or honesty? Which one you want from the world the most? You want kindness from the world, or you want the honesty?
Honesty. But I don't want the brute honesty. You know, I don't want clan members like, get out of here. You know what I mean? I don't want it that honest. I want an honest world, but I don't want it that honest. You know, just
Mm.
leave me a little bit of kindness with. If I only had to pick one, because people can be kind to you all the time, right?
Right.
But they lying like a mug, you know. They're lying, you know, and that's politics. Like people give you kind words all the time. While they got you with the smile, they are not being honest. They are not changing any laws. There is no reparations. I'm still waiting on my stimulus check, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. So honesty, you got at least when you know the truth, you know how they feel. You can make a decision. But when people are
Right.
kind to you, and you don't know the truth. Life could be pretty emotional. You know, you'd be pretty psychologically torn because the people that's being kind to you are lying to you the whole time. So I go with
Okay.
honesty.
True. Okay. And respect the Lord. Which one do you prefer the most? Out of everyday life, you want that respect from the world, or do you want that loyalty from the world, or the ones that's in your world? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would rather have respect.
Respect.
Yeah, because
Follow. Go
loyalty.
ahead.
Because when you're dealing with loyalty, people are loyal to themselves. You know, so if everybody is loyal to themselves, I'm not the first priority. Like I'm not top priority.
Mhm.
So they're gonna do what they're gonna do to be loyal to themselves and make the decision for themselves, and that could
Mhm.
involve not giving a damn about me. Because you could say you're loyal to me and be with me for a whole bunch of years, but if you don't respect me, it's gonna be tension, and I can feel disrespect. You know, with
Yeah.
lack of respect comes disrespect. So to have somebody loyal to you but disrespectful, it's just not a good look. So I would prefer respect over loyalty.
Okay. And I feel you on that. And this last question is just for you only. B. Wheeler, the Olympic runner, or B. Wheeler, the funny comedian, the fastest funny man on the planet? Which one of them two is? Which one of them is you more comfortable with? The Olympic runner or the man on stage making people laugh?
Mm. Oh man, the Olympic runner,
Mm.
because I learned that that person is still here,
Right.
and so because I'm still here, that person is able to speak from an experience that a lot of people don't have, and I'm able to speak from an input that a lot of people may want to hear about. Um, B. Willer, the comedian, gets lost in the sauce because there are millions of comedians out there, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the best at being stand-up comedy. Like I don't have a gold medal in stand-up comedy. They don't give those. And so,
Right.
yeah, so I would say B. Willer, the Olympic runner, because I worked so hard to get to that status and that level that I want people to know that this is the perspective I'm speaking from a gold medal perspective. So I would
Okay.
choose the fastest, no, the funniest Olympic champion
Funniest
instead
Olympic
of
champ.
B. Willer, the comedian.
Okay.
Because
So,
people would see me So here's another thing too. People will see me as a comedian, and because I don't have a Netflix deal, or because I don't do stadiums, they will consider me unsuccessful. You know, that's why they tell you, hey man, one day you're gonna blow up. You're like, blow up? I've been blew up like 23 years ago. What you talking about? Like, I've been on TV, man. What you talking about? You know, but you know, when you go by statuses, right? People have a view of a comedian. This is what a comedian is. So that's you. You just make us laugh. It's like, no, man, no, man. I'm speaking from the Olympic champion that's doing comedy versus a comedian.
I like how you put that, man. That was great how you put that. Because
man,
it tells me something. And you know what I'm saying? Thank you for playing the bonus round. You have some super cool answers, great answers.
bro.
I always like to do that to pick people's brain because I like to know what they like, what they thinking. We might relate on something, and you might tell me something that I didn't know, like you did multiple times in this interview. Last thing I want to ask you is your message, or what can you say to people like me that's trying or aspiring people that want to get into running, track and field, some that are already running and it might be halfway in it. Like you said, people that trying to create from the ground up. Because I know that's definitely what I've been trying to do, and I'm still doing it. I ain't no more trying now. I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As far as some positive reinforcement, some good words that you could lay down for people to hear now or later that could stick with them, that's trying, having a hard time. Maybe they feel like they ain't going to make it. Maybe they giving themselves the doubt before the benefit. Like people that you would meet for the first time that want to learn techniques, whether it's on the stage or on the field. What would be your message to them? And me as well, because I'm asking for that too. I've had my moments where I'll be like, damn, man, am I making any move? And then I meet somebody like you and I'm like, okay, people starting to hear me a little bit now, but I got to still do my job. The platform is yours.
All right. I would say, I know it sounds cliche, but it's true. Whoever you believe in or what you believe in, you know, keep your God first. So whatever, if it's Jesus, if it's Allah, if it's, you know, Buddhism, if it's, you know, African panism, you know, like keep your nucleus strong because you're going to fail. That's just how life is. I won the gold medal one time, but I lost at least 90% of my races, you know. So you're going to fail. And you just have to, like, that's why I have the whole stay in your lane. Like the SIYLENT is stay in your lane. And stay in your lane came from this, it was just a relay term at first. You know, before I got the stick at the Olympics, you know, the coach was like, look, you got to stay in your lane. If you don't stay in your lane, we're going to get disqualified. And we're not going to be able to get the gold. So my goal at that time of winning the medal, I was like, okay, if I just stay in my lane and get the stick around, we'll win gold. And so after we won gold, I came back to Baltimore and I went to a church service. And this preacher was telling me about, it's a passage in Corinthians in the Bible. And he was saying basically in this passage, when you choose to serve God or Jesus Christ, you've already won the race. Whether you win or lose, you won the race because you're willing to help another person. You're willing to accept Jesus, and regardless of what you're going through, you've already won. And so I encourage people to basically stay in their lane, even though it's going to get tough. You're going to go through people stealing from you. You're going to have people trying to screw you over on money. You're going to have people trying to get information from you for free. And, you know, don't let them kill your spirits. Just stay in your lane and go for the goal. And keep your nucleus straight, because the fun is going to happen. You're gonna reap benefits from your you're gonna reap benefits from your hard work, and that's when the devils start coming. And so, you know, it's okay to party, but you got to get back on it. I've done a lot of partying in my life. I probably would have ran a lot faster had I taken it more serious. But yeah, I encourage every single person, whatever you're doing, you know, you treat it like it's Olympic gold. And then after you get the money, keep that center going, because again, money goes away, the medal's not real. You just focus and you make new goals. After you accomplish one goal, you make another goal and you make another goal. Don't get caught up and just hit that one goal and then that's it. Because once you get it, the motivation is going to go because the job is already done. There's no point in working anymore. So yeah, keep your center grounded and stay in your lane no matter what.
Thank you, man. Thank you for that message. Thank you so much, Mr. B, for that message, man.
For having me, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Tag me or you know, send me some links, man, so I can share it, man. And
I'm definitely,
you know, I don't mind
gonna do that.
I don't mind coming on it during the week too. You know, we could talk about different topics, culture, and you've pretty much hit everything on this interview, man. It's like one of the best interviews I've ever had.
Man, I sure appreciate it. Well, the fun part for me is the research. This is the easy part right here, because I'm a people person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a welcoming type person. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a grandma's boy. I grew up under my grandma, so it's like she was all about opening the door, letting folks in, big thing of food, eat what you want. It's room back there, just don't tear up the house. I always been that type of person, man, and I can't change that. I don't know how to be an asshole. I mean, I know how to be, but I don't like it. It don't feel good. It gives me a headache. I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? I like to be, you know what I'm saying? I like to be cool like this. I like to be level, and I like to network, meet peoples. You know what I'm saying? And like watching the stuff, I knew you was a good person. I could tell you, you know, and now I know inside and out. You're a good dude, you know what I'm saying? Because you gave me advice, you give people advice, you break it down. One thing that you said, I heard Michael Jordan say this before. You gotta fail to succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'd have heard some of the greatest say it.
It's not a good
you know what I mean?
It's not a good
you know what I'm saying? And I know I've had some failures. I know I probably got some more, but that's what make me, you know, when people doubt me, when people don't give me the benefit, when, you know what I'm saying, somebody look at you wrong, like, you know, whether it's because of the color of your skin or because you're a man or because you don't have what others have, that gives me more energy to keep going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Every time. I don't get mad and want to fight. I get mad and say, okay, not only am I going to show you, but I'm going to show myself. And any else one of y'all that want to doubt me, just watch what I do. Just watch what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to break everything to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which I mean, breaking that cycle of stuff that I need to stop doing so I can get higher.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I got you. Wait a minute. So how did your team do today? Philly, right?
We going to the Super Bowl, baby.
Oh,
we trying to get to Disneyland. we trying to get to Disneyland. We trying to get to Disneyland. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Yeah, we going.
Congratulations.
We going. Man, thank you, man. So I had to wear my old school shirt that my old man just bought me, and then I just got my little hat about 2 weeks ago. So I'm like, yeah, you know, you see all that. You see all that on there.
That's why I mentioned it. I said, hey, because I knew it was a game today, though, but I didn't know y'all got the Eagle on today.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we got our Eagle on and everything, and you know, I definitely want to speak with you again. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Now we can switch up topics, go back and forth. You know what I'm saying? I follow you.
Let's do it.
I like the notifications. I follow all your posts and all your notifications. So anytime you post something, I'm gonna always see it,
and
because I hit that button.
I'm gonna do the same thing with you. So whenever you up and you having a guest, I'm gonna just tune in like Marcy did and just, you know, just enjoy the show.
Because it's all about a little support, and I want them people. If you can stay a little bit, if you just tapping in, just throw up some peace and fists, I'm cool with that too. But that let me know that you saw me, and then I'll do the same for you. I'll make now let me ask you this one last thing. Where's the main place to find you at if people wanna check out the comedy stuff? Is it the TikTok or is it right here on the ground?
You know, it's probably here on the gram.
Okay.
Cause
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
TikTok, they be banning me, man, and I don't even know why. And so
They
I
be
don't want,
tripping.
yeah, I don't want to send people to TikTok and then all of a sudden I'm banned and stuff. So
Okay. Okay.
the most secure would be here on
Okay.
BW Pro Techniques, you know, for comedy.
Okay. Okay. Cause I got them written down. I was gonna call them out, but if you saying now, what about the Spotify? Do you still add? You still putting stuff on Spotify too?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
My latest album is called Olympic Gold Music 2.
Ah.
And I released that one last May.
Okay.
So
All right. All right.
it doesn't basically it's a brand new album, and I did not put up any music videos up to it.
Mhm.
So I'm just shopping it now, and every opportunity I get, like on your platform, I tell people about it. But yeah, that's the latest album. It was May 2022. So I'm working on
Okay.
some new music, and I'll promote I'll publish another album probably in August. But I like to take my time with them.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, personally, I please tag me or send me anything that you want shared, and let me share it and show my people who don't know around here in Alabama and all that down here, so I can show people check and comedy and music. I
Okay,
want to
man. I
be
appreciate it.
somebody to help support. So please make sure that I'm out of your top 10. Let me be one of them to get something on the exclusive, so I can be like, hey, check this out. Here he
Absolutely.
comes.
Yeah, you be the
You know what I'm
first, brother.
saying?
You be the
I sure
first.
appreciate that, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that, dog. All right. Well, everyone, please, people here now, one to watch later, one that catch the replay. I will be uploading this on YouTube too, Mr.
Yeah.
B. So I'll
Oh
be
yeah.
sending you.
So is it the same name on YouTube? Because I could just follow you on YouTube as well.
Yes, it's Cooks 24. It's actually on YouTube. It's Cooks asterisk FBT
Hold up.
asterisk
Say it one more time for me.
Cooks
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
COOKZ
Mm-hmm.
24, and then the little asterisk, and then FBT, and then another asterisk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Bet.
The FBT stands for Full Blast Tribe. It's a DJ that a lot of us follow as a group. Kind of came together as a group, and now it's the group. And he's like a DJ that from originally from Strong
Oh,
Island, Long Island, one of them.
okay.
Now he resides in Atlanta, and he does 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s all day long. He do mashup, he do
Oh
blends.
man, that's
I'm gonna send you
right
some
up
of
my
his.
alley.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you some of his and let you peep it out. And if you dig it, you just keep checking it out
All
because
right. So yeah,
he got some dope stuff.
as soon as I get off of here, I'm going right to your YouTube, and I'm follow.
Okay, because I went to yours and I followed. That's why I was doing my like your Olympic gold TikTok and blase. I had to go and make sure I
Man,
wrote down the right
man, I
thing. You know what I'm saying?
appreciate it,
So
man.
no doubt, man. So anyway, before we go, let me just do it one more
Let's do
time. Bernard
it.
Williams, aka Silent B Wheeler on IG, aka B. Williams Olympic Gold on TikTok, a.k.a. Bernard B. Williams on Spotify, a.k.a. Bernard Williams on YouTube at Staying in Your Lane ENT. Please subscribe, a.k.a. Stand-Up Comedian, a.k.a. Pro Techniques. Get on there and learn something, talk to him. He got the email and everything on there for you, a.k.a. 2000 champion, Olympic champion, two-time NCAA champion at my favorite college, Florida, my ad, and Pan American champion, a.k.a. Olympic gold medalist in 2000, Sydney, a.k.a. U.S. national champion in 2003, world champion in 2003 in France, Olympic silver medalist in 2004 in France, and last but not least, inducted into the Maryland State Athletic Hall of Fame, and he is now a mentor. So please follow Silent B. Wheeler on Instagram and show your love and show your support because the brother is doing great things. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
man.
brother. Thanks for having me, man.
Woo, that took a lot of air right there. Man, thank you.
Man, you did great, man.
Oh man, well yo man, I'm gonna let you go now because I know it's if it's 10 where I'm at, it's 11 where you
Yeah,
at. So
that's
you
all
know what I
right, man.
mean.
I'm
I'm
excited to
finna
see the show, man. I'm
hey,
excited, man. Thanks for having me.
thank you, man. Once I get everything, I'm gonna get this upload. I'm gonna get this uploaded on YouTube, but it's once we cut off, it'll be on the Instagram. So thank you once again. Much respect, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in the B More and anybody that know Mr. B Silent, man. He a good brother, man. So yo, be cool and show your love and support. And I'm gonna do my best to show the same back.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes,
hey,
sir.
man. Peace, peace, peace,
All right.
man. Take it easy.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Mr. B.
Peace and
Thank you,
blessings.
man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. All right, everyone. The ones that still here. Thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to Miss Tasha Robinson. You had some great questions. Shout out to my homegirl, Marcy Smiles. You know what I'm saying? She also is a great stand-up comedian as well, coming out the Bronx. Yo, Mr. B. William, man, you super cool dude. Make sure y'all follow all that stuff. Go to his stuff, you know what I'm saying? And check out B. Willer, you know what I'm saying? And other than that, man, please, everyone, take it easy. We're getting ready to go into Monday. So, yo, it's like this. Stay well. Stay healthy, and remember, laughter is one of the best medicines to get out of that sickness. You know what I mean? Shout out B. Willow, and y'all follow. I am always Coos 24 podcast. Tuning out to eat some